Good evening. It is the 11th of June, 2013. Welcome to our first ever bonus episode. We're doing this in regards to E3 because there has been some fantastic news coming out. Time to Live podcast with Quad and Rev. I'm Rev and my compatriot Quad.
Hello. E3 is an exciting time that I'm not paying attention to at all.
I think you're missing out on some stuff by not paying attention to it. There's definitely some good news going on in here. Audience people, forgive us for a bit. We're not actually going to follow our normal format for this. We're gonna break the mold just a little bit because of the excitement. So I guess we'll just dive right into it.
Yeah. I may as well explain the reason why I'm not paying attention to E3. I can't be bothered.
You can't be bothered to pay attention to one of the most important for this generation of gaming conventions.
No, I can't be bothered. There's no point in it. I may as well just wait for the end product. There's no reason for me to get excited for any game because, well, there's no reason. I'll just sit here waiting. I just pick up games as I go along. Usually.
Well, fair enough, but there's really some exciting stuff coming out. The earliest release date that I caught was August 20th, and there's a really cool game. I got to go through my notes here real quick to find out which one it was.
Yeah.
But where was it?
In August. Watch Dogs?
Yeah. August 20th is the release of the new Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Ah, interesting. Oh, that's gonna be cool, I guess.
Well, it's the first one that they've changed the voice actor for Sam Fisher, and they went with that because they're doing a lot more live motion capture as opposed to the hand-drawn animation of previous cycles, and they wanted somebody a bit younger and more athletically inclined for that. But the trailer. Go ahead.
They wanted someone more athletically inclined to be the voice actor?
Well, they're using him also as the motion capture.
Oh, okay. Well, why the hell would they need two people for that? Why couldn't they just use two people for it?
Probably because you get a more realistic performance out of it. I mean, think back to Lord of the Rings with Andy Serkis playing as Gollum. You know, they could have technically just had him voice it and then provide a tennis ball on a stick like they did for Jar Jar in Star Wars, but it gave something more physical and much more real of a performance out of the CGI character to have a physical person there.
Yeah, I agree. But still, he doesn't really look like the guy. Anyways, that's not important.
So yeah, that's coming up. I have to admit, I'm really stoked, although I'm kind of disappointed with Ubisoft and their marketing for it, because the game's only 2 months out, give or take, and there was a trailer released online about 6 months ago, and then this here at E3, and that's it. And I think they could have built a lot more hype. They could have shown gameplay, which would have been nice. But overall, it's Splinter Cell out of Ubisoft, so chances are I'm gonna buy it.
Good. So, are you buying the Xbox One yet?
No.
Good.
No.
PS4?
Actually, I'm definitely leaning that direction, and it's in large part. Sony had the opportunity to take lots of humorous jabs at Microsoft and their major gaffes in marketing, especially in the PR department. Whereas Xbox One requires always on and blah, 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 and we all know my gripes about that. The Sony executives during the Sony press conference made it very clear from the outgoing, their console is going to be a gaming console, period, end of discussion. If you don't have internet, guess what? You can still play games. If you want to play games online, then you have to have internet. And other than that, that's pretty much it.
Good.
They even released a rather entertaining, quick, it was about 20-second film with two of the higher-ups at Sony. I'm trying to think of Adam Boyes and Shohei Yoshida. And it was basically a how to share games or how to lend games to somebody on the PS4. And it pops up with a...
Yeah, I know exactly why they did that, which is kind of fun.
Did you see that video?
No, I didn't. They're just poking holes at Microsoft.
Yeah, no, you got to check out that video. It's really funny. It's really short, but they have this graphic that pops up. Step 1, sharing the game. And then it cuts back to the two of them, and one of them is holding a game. This is how you share a game for the PS4. And he hands it to Adam, and Adam goes, "Thank you." And then it cuts, PlayStation. Oh, it was great.
Sounds awesome.
So yeah, Sony basically had the opportunity here, and granted, they still hold the patent for a hardware lock on used games, but it's decent. It's kind of a breath of fresh air to see a company who obviously is focused on profits that is willing to suborn that to giving gamers, their primary market for gaming consoles, at least the appearance that they're listening to what we want to see.
Yeah, I agree.
So
that's the thing that Sony has done all along. They are sort of, after the gamers. They have other stuff. They've branched out to, for example, they make TVs. They make, I don't know, a bunch of junk, but yeah, that's their way of going out towards other demographics. They sell TVs that have, the smart TVs and so on. So why not buy just a smart TV instead of a bloody console?
Right, but at the same time,
that's sort of a, pointing towards the Xbox One, of course, because it has the same things that a smart TV can do now, except, play games.
Well, and even then, a smart TV has integrated smart card accessibility and or DVR capability. The Xbox One has none of that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that.
So, well, it's not even a guess. It's confirmed at this point. They don't have the capability for it. So there's that. The other really big news that came out of the two major press conferences, and this is what really kind of sold me in the end, was the price point. The Xbox One is coming in at $499 plus tax, and that's $499 US. That's also $499 euros, and I think it was like £499 pound.
Wow, that's shitty for the British.
Yeah. And everybody else that uses the euro. Sony, on the other hand, comes out at $399 US, $399 euro, and £349 pounds.
So the Europeans are being jabbed a bit, so are the British, but whatever. It's at least better than Xbox, because I don't want to pay money to get all those shitty features that only Americans can use.
Yeah, it didn't really strike me as a wise idea, considering how much other crap they were trying to force down our throats on this. But so yeah, with those big bits out of the way, let's dive in. I know you haven't been paying attention, but I've kept I was doing notes in the style of my Rev reviews as I was watching this. The first press conference was Microsoft, bright and early yesterday. First thing that I saw was that they have Dark Souls 2, and they are releasing that for the 360. Dark Souls creators have announced that it is not going to be a next-gen game. It is going to be PC, 360, and PS3. So I'm stoked for that one.
Okay.
Next up was Rise. It was a third-person Roman warrior that's going on a campaign. It looks to be third-person combat, and it looked really good. The graphics looked fantastic, and the integration between cutscene and action looked fantastic as well. But they got into the gameplay of it itself, and I instantly got turned off from it because the entire thing is QuickTime events. You go in, and I'm hacking at somebody, and his partner comes in, and it gives me a quick time to block, and then a quick time to kill him, and then a quick time to kill the guy I was first fighting, and I hate quick time events.
I'm not a big fan of QuickTime events either. Jesus Christ.
I mean, as long as they're completely optional, such as think God of War with their optional grab and then quick time for the brutal, with the Minotaur where you stab the blades of chaos down its throat. That was totally optional if you wanted to do that, and this doesn't appear to be optional if you want to survive. So,
Well,
but
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's all of the games, really.
As far as I can tell, though, that is going to be an Xbox One exclusive. I haven't done too much digging into it, but I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere that it's going to be on any other console or on PC.
Yeah, well, I don't really care then. Yeah.
Let me think. What else was there? Sunset Overdrive actually really intrigued me. And again, it's one of those games where I really, really like the idea and the concept behind it. I just can't justify spending money on an Xbox One to get this game. It looks like it's a cross between Borderlands, Jet Set Radio, Mirror's Edge, and Call of Duty. With a little bit of Left 4 Dead thrown into the mix.
Yeah, I'm seeing somewhat of a... It has an interesting graphic style, I'll give it that.
Yeah, it's like I said, very Jet Set Radio or Borderlands style, but a bit more cartoony, and it looked fantastic, and
Yeah.
if they were actually showing gameplay, and I'm not sure that they were, but if they were, that looks really, really intense. I could see if somehow somebody gave me an Xbox One and paid for the Xbox Live for it, I could see myself playing that game.
Well, just looking at it, on screenshots, it actually looks like the buildings and such look like upgraded Simpsons graphics.
Yeah, I could see that. I could
Yeah.
see that.
That's at least what strikes me. The people, they actually don't look half bad. They look like, paintings.
Yeah, and the monsters that you're fighting primarily is kind of the zombie shooter aspect. Kind of reminds me of the zombies from Crackdown 2.
Okay.
So, like I said, I was interested in it just based on the art style, and outside of that, I haven't paid too much attention. This is all kind of high level stuff, just so that we can get our views out on it.
Cool.
Let's see. The next one was the next reveal was Forza 5. It's one of those racing games. I know our good friend Dariel is really into racing games. I don't care for them, but that definitely looked nice. So obviously we're seeing an increase in graphical fidelity on this new generation.
Well,
They were
Gran Turismo already looked quite good, so I don't know. I think the graphics in the games, well, the driving games have been excellent for quite a while. Forza, I've played some of the earlier games, and it's actually interesting, but it's mostly, racing on tracks, which in a racing game I'm not too interested in. I usually like having sort of an open worldish thing where the driving usually is on the streets. That's why I prefer Need for Speed.
Well, in this case, Forza 5 does appear to have a lot of more of the street driving aspect, or at least the tracks on streets, going through a city.
Mm.
The really big selling point on this one, and I don't know how popular other people are going to think it is, but I thought technologically it was a fantastic idea, is the fact one of the demonstrators came out and said, look at these other cars while I'm playing. He's doing the demo right there. He's like, these other cars, they don't drive like AI, they drive like people. And instantly my thought was, oh, you mean they're fucking retarded? But then they explained behind that, what happens as you're playing is that the game uploads your reactions and your actions in game to a database of you for all purposes. And then when somebody else is playing a single player campaign game of this, they download, it randomizes and downloads a person's driver and then plops them into that race, and you're not actually racing against, just computer AI. You're racing against other people's performances on that track.
Well, I'm guessing that, of course, every race will be randomized then, but they probably have some sort of algorithm which sort of figures out how you drive, because, well, when playing against another player, he may crash into you, and that would bump you off the track, and if it was, exactly how the other person drove, it wouldn't, be correct.
Well, and I think that's kind of the goal, is to introduce a bit more of the random aspect of a human opponent without actually having the multiplayer human opponent present.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be quite interesting. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, I'm there. Regardless of my like or dislike of the Xbox One or the PS4, just from the technological standpoint of what some of these games are able to do, it was just amazing to think about what went in behind it. There was some stuff that was kind of mind-boggling, and this is kind of a general overall note for the Microsoft press conference, but the cloud was the buzzword for Xbox One. It's in everything, and every game talked about, almost every game presenter talked about how blah 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 the cloud and blah 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 the cloud, and it obviously they're trying to push for this. And again, it's one of those things that I think the marketing buzzword generators got a hold of. One of the Microsoft employees talked about how for every Xbox One that gets powered on and makes its connection through to authenticate, they spin up the equivalent of 3 Xbox Ones in a cloud environment and handle a lot of the background processing and stuff off of that. So it's a good idea in concept. The problem is bandwidth limitations. I mean, there's already bandwidth limitations and latency issues just on the console directly, from the hard drive to the motherboard to the graphical output. There's a delay in that, and we can usually measure that in single millisecond marks, but there is a noticeable delay. As soon as you introduce somebody on DSL, they've got a 3.0 meg DSL, and now you've got however many hops and all the failing routes to that. It's a good idea. I don't think it's going to be practical in its application.
And think of the packet loss.
Yeah, any jitter on the line, any packet loss. Say one of your BGP routes goes down. My peer decides it just doesn't like Verizon for whatever reason and drops peering with that, and I'm completely hosed. I've lost all connection to it, and suddenly my game runs like ass because I can't make a connection to the cloud servers.
Yep.
So it depends entirely on what they do with it. I mean, if it's stupid things like the initial processing for the skybox or something like that, then I don't think it would be too big of a problem. But when it comes to things like the physics engine and stuff like that, a lot of that has to be handled on case, because you can't introduce a 50 millisecond delay on that and still expect to have a decent experience.
Yeah. Correct.
Let's see, what was the next? Forza 5, the Drivatar is what they were calling that. They did mention that your Drivatar can earn money when you get selected as a randomized opponent for somebody while you're offline. It'll not do it while you're online, but when you're offline, and you earn money based on how your Drivatar does. So that kind of a way to reward people for doing so.
So you can be... So if you have like 10 people, that are the best in the world driving around, and you are always unlucky and get that guy, you'll never win.
Pretty much. But with the amount of people that they have, that's a pretty insignificant statistical chance of happening.
So if you're one of the 10 best, you will always win.
And you'll earn lots of money. Yeah, I think it's a valid way to reward people for skill.
Yeah.
So, moving right along, they have announced that they are porting Minecraft over to Xbox One. Most people say, nah, it's Minecraft, it's overdone, we don't care. Unfortunately, I think it might do better than the 360 port, because the 360 port was extremely limited, and it looks like they've expanded a lot of it just for the Xbox One, so that could be useful.
Yeah, why not just get it for PC? There we go, we're done with that.
Well, you've got a point there.
Because you can bloody mod the game, and we're done. Yeah.
Well, I can't play Minecraft on my PC. It doesn't handle it, so,
Well, my PC can. So why would I get an Xbox One to play it?
I'm not saying you'd get an Xbox One to play it, but if you're one of those people that is getting an Xbox One, it looks like Minecraft for the Xbox One might be a decent purchase.
Cool.
Next up, they had a game called Quantum Break. They promote it as the intermixing of television and games for this series. The assumption from the developers is that as you're watching the show, you'll pick up on characterization traits and things like that will then affect how you play the game and the decisions you make and why you do things in game. Nothing particularly overt, at least not based on the cutscene central trailer that they showed us. But I could see it might be a good idea. You can definitely tell there's a really, really big push from Microsoft to push that television has to be implemented thing, because now it's leaking into our games as well. Yeah, and this one's actually the tamest of them all. And this one, the guy that announced it basically came out and said, "Look, the game is separate from the television series. But our hope is, and what our data shows us, is that when you watch the show, you're going to take that into account when you're playing the game." So that's actually the least intrusive games meet television hybrid of the entire conference. So
Hmm.
We'll have to see what further horrors await.
Did you see the website xboxdone.com?
No, I didn't.
It linked you straight to Amazon, PlayStation 4.
Well done. That's a brilliant redirect.
Yeah, but yeah, I noticed a tweet. I'm currently, well, let's see. My friend is one behind xboxdone.com used to redirect to Amazon for a PS4 pre-order. Microsoft sent lawyers after him.
They sent lawyers. That's awesome.
Well, now it's, let's see, xboxdone.com leads now to the PlayStation blog. So, yeah.
Smart on him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see where that leads, possibly.
What else did we have? The smart glass integration looked kind of cool. They did show a world-building RTS type game. I wasn't paying too much attention during that. I was dealing with the customer. The Microsoft Smart Glass.
I've never heard of it.
Do some digging into it. It's actually think like Google Glasses, but through your cell phone and tablet and stuff like that. It's actually a lot of technologically, again, it's really kind of a cool concept. But the gist from what I got, and I didn't have my headphones in because, like I said, I was dealing with a customer at the time. They had a world building game using the smart glass, and they were building, okay, here's the island that we're building, and they're doing all of this on a tablet. Here's the island, and then we're going to draw a moat, and then we're going to put a river through that moat, and then, build a bridge and a drawbridge and blah, 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 and then we're going to add bad guys. And it all seemed to be done in real time and actually looked kind of cool. I was impressed with the idea. The ability to modify the world and map while gaming live, it's just that kind of strikes me as a really cool idea.
Yeah, I'm currently checking it out, and I can see that it works with 3 games now. But for one of the games, you can play the game and you have your phone connected to whatever, and you get the map up on your phone. I don't know. That can be useful.
It could be. It could be.
You can use your phone to navigate on the TV. You have a remote control for that.
Well, I can control my television with my my tablet, my Galaxy.
Yeah, you can already do that. So why does Xbox need one? It's actually Xbox glasses, isn't it?
I only used the application to do that to piss off my husband one night when he was watching a movie and I kept changing the channel on him.
That's the way to do it.
Exactly, pranking. What else did they have? Crimson Dragon, made by the creators of Dragoon, Legend of Dragoon. Remember that old PS game that was kind of RPG sky shooter? No?
Let me Google it. Because I don't remember games like that. I don't remember the title of it. No, I didn't play. Isn't that sort of a JRPG?
It was kind of, but it was also kind of a cross between like JRPG meets Crimson Skies.
Well, I don't play JRPGs. I just can't play them.
But it was also Crimson Skies. And anyways, it looked really good. It did, which is, I'm sensing, going to be the recurring theme. And the problem with that was during the conference, the entire game audio cut out, and the entire feed was silent for the entire duration. So it looked good, but apparently no sound is the wave of the future.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah, silent gaming. Charlie Chaplin would be jumping for joy.
Yeah, I agree. Silent is the way to
Uh,
go.
yeah. They had Dead Rising 3, which I guess if you're into Dead Rising is a good thing. It looked good again. I didn't have any major complaints with what I was seeing on screen, but I'm completely not interested in yet another zombie game, especially since the first Dead Rising bored me to tears, and the second Dead Rising I turned off after about 5 minutes because it was the same as the first one.
Yeah, that's the thing with Dead Rising. It's usually more fun to play when you have more than one person playing it.
Yeah, and I just don't do enough multiplayer, and out of everybody that I know, only 2 of them had Dead Rising, and neither of them had an internet connection, so it was kind of, yeah. The Witcher number 3 was announced, and it does not appear to be an exclusive. I unfortunately missed the announcement. I just saw the title card on it, but then a customer got in the way, and damn E3 for scheduling all of this during normal business hours in California. But what else was there? Oh, this one actually might
Wait.
affect... Go ahead.
Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I hope Witcher 3 isn't as bloody long as The Witcher 2. Because I think I played through maybe chapter 2 and that took me like 20 hours.
Wait, you don't like long games?
I got bored.
Okay.
Very bored.
Fair enough.
And I just can't do that. I don't have problems with long games. I've played what? I played Skyrim. I've played Fallout. Well, most of the Fallout games. Far Cry 3.
That was a harsh judgment.
But yeah, there wasn't enough variety for me. And I'm hoping they will hopefully not do the same with Witcher 3. Might pick it up then. Right. So, next thing?
The next thing actually might benefit Let's Players in particular, or at least live streamers. Microsoft and Xbox One has entered into a new partnership with Twitch TV and will integrate live streaming directly from your console. So you can commentate and gameplay right then and there, and I'm assuming that because of the Kinect that is required to always be attached and functional, that you will also have built-in webcam capability in your stream. So it could be good. Unfortunately, I think we're going to see a huge amount of glut in the sheer numbers and crap quality of streaming.
Yep, I agree. Don't PS4 already have one of those agreements?
Not that I'm aware of. They have the share directly to YouTube button.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I don't remember who I read. I think that was maybe... Well, some console was talking about... Oh, I think Sony has with some streaming site as well. Why do they have to do it with Twitch? They're gonna ruin it.
Well, they're both companies are in it for the money, and Twitch could definitely use some of the Microsoft money.
Yeah.
So, what else did we have? Oh yeah, big surprise. We have Battlefield 4. They were experiencing some technical difficulties, and that was kind of entertaining. The audio cut out as well. The guy that was on stage managed to keep his cool and not flip out, and then commented that he was going to continue on with his presentation, start over the video Yeah, it didn't look too exciting. It looked pretty much like Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
And even more so like Modern Warfare. And the only note that I really took on it was, quote, I'm getting really tired of modern military shooters. End quote.
Oh yeah. There are a lot of those. Well, as far as I've known, I saw the first trailer of Battlefield 4 quite some time ago, and it looked exactly like Battlefield 3. And the thing at E3 pretty much confirmed it. It's going to be the exact same thing as Battlefield 3, just, well, another game.
Yeah. And they are still using dice, the actual and original dice for that, which, okay, if that's your thing, that's great. I'm getting so tired of the modern military shooters. There's only so many times that I can run around with my M16 or whatever. I need change. I need variety. So, they had a roguelike game, which I thought you might be interested in. Unfortunately, I missed most of it again due to a damn customer. But look into the game Below. Below.
Below, below, just below.
Yep.
Okay, game E3. There we go. Below announced for Xbox One. Okay. Sword and sorcery.
Yep.
Probably not interested.
Oh. And here I thought I had something.
Particular taste in roguelikes. Well, not very particular. I just like good games.
This one looked interesting from what I saw out of the corner of my eye while I was troubleshooting a VPN connection. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of a roguelike actual video game. I say actual video game incorrectly. Obviously, I say most also incorrectly. Let me collect my words here. I like the idea of a game studio that has been contracted by a big name publisher to produce a roguelike. I kind of like the idea and what that could become, because let's be honest, 99.99% of all of the roguelikes in existence are, a couple-man team or a 20-man team, and they're just doing it for the love of the game, which I have nothing against.
That's why they are so good.
No, I know, and I have nothing against that, and I like that.
They're gonna ruin it.
But I would like to see what a AAA roguelike could be.
I'm guessing shit. Because there was one recently, let's see, Sword of the Stars, The Pit. It wasn't bad. It's just very repetitive and boring.
So it was less roguelike and more rogue trip?
Well, the thing I like with roguelikes is variety. Binding of Isaac has that, even though, it's the same thing over and over, but you can get different item combination. I can't even speak. Combinations. There we go. And FTL, same thing. You have loads of combinations and different ship types and different
randomization.
Events. Yeah, pretty much. Dwarf Fortress. Yeah,
Dwarf Fortress kind of takes the roguelike. Honestly, if they renamed the roguelike genre, I would name it Dwarf Fortress.
Yes.
Because that game really does kind of embody everything of the roguelike genre.
Well, there are different games now that do the exact same thing. I'm playing Cataclysm DDA. It's got a better adventure mode, let's just say that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What else? We're almost done with Microsoft's.
Okay.
They introduced they announced that they're backing 5 brand new game studios to bring IPs into the light. One of them is called either the studio was called Black Tusk or the game was called Black Tusk, and I believe it was the studio. It's a brand new intellectual property. It looks very similar to Splinter Cell, and other than that, we have no information on it. That's right. Black Tusk is the publisher or the studio. We don't know the title of it that I saw. We don't. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't really been that big of a fan in these Splinter Cell and Rainbow Six and all those games.
Rainbow Six was hit or miss. I liked the very first one the best, but Splinter Cell, other than Rogue Agent, yeah, and even then, that's still a better game than 95% of the stuff I've got sitting out on my shelf. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've got many bad games as well.
You probably have more bad games than I do, just because of the sheer quantity that you have.
Yeah, I have PC games, PS games, PS2 games, PS3 games, Xbox games, all sorts of Nintendo games.
Yeah, I think in terms of sheer statistical probability, you have me beat there.
Well, I'm really good at picking good games as well, so I have a bunch of good ones. Yeah.
The next video that they showed, they did with absolutely no fanfare. They just cut to the video, and I'm going to read my notes exactly as it was written, because it kind of gives you the idea of the non-build-up to orgasmic excitement that reached.
Okay.
I think this is a new intellectual property. I don't know who the developer is. The sand looks good. Oh, there's something more than just sand. That looks like a computer chip. Oh shit, it's Master Chief in 2014. Yes, so Halo 5 was officially announced November 2014 November by 343 Industries. It was a brief clip, and there was the telltale music that makes you think Halo. He looks beaten up and ragged, and if anything could convince me to buy an Xbox One, it would be Halo. Except for the fact that I didn't like Halo 4. I was disappointed in it. And Bungie's new property comes out also on the PS4.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wanted to be really super excited about it because I love the Master Chief. Like, random side note, and not to gross anybody out, but when we were all gearing up for Halo 3, I was having sex dreams of me and the Master Chief, okay? Like, just to put that into perspective, how much I adore the Halo franchise, the Master Chief and I were going at it in my dreams. And my reaction to this was ultimately, oh, that's the Master Chief, and then, oh, wait, that's 343 Industries, and I have to deal with a whole bunch of other shit. So, if you're a fan of Halo like I was, and you still are, that's great. You'll have to tell me or do a Let's Play of it, because I just don't have it in me. I might ask my buddy who lives next door to borrow his console and play it on that, but it's not something that I can justify buying an entire console for. I bought the 360 specifically for Halo 3. I can't do that for Halo 5.
Good.
What else do we have? Oh, the Xbox One launches in November of this year, and blah blah blah. It's $500. Nobody cares because we're not buying it. Titanfall is a really good looking game. It's kind of a cross between
Crisis?
Sorry?
Crisis? I'll just look on the screenshots.
Actually, I would say it's more of a cross between MechWarrior and kind of a futuristic Call of Duty, and the integration thereof. Basically, you start off as a soldier and you're running around and you kill stuff, and then when you get your kill streaks like you would in Call of Duty, you can summon a mech and you climb into the mech, and it's pretty seamless based on the video they showed, and then you go on a rampage and you can stomp on people and shoot them down and blah blah blah. It looked kind of cool. It's also not going to be an exclusive, but one thing that I did notice from the gameplay footage that they showed was that their scoring system appears to be off a little bit, or at least the amount of points per the damage that you have to deal. For example, they gave you, I saw that they awarded 500 points to destroy an enemy mech, and 600 points to kill an enemy soldier unarmored. So there's a scale in there that seemed a little bit wonky to me, but I'm sure I missed something.
It's multiplayer only as well.
I'm sorry?
It's multiplayer only as well.
Yeah, that is, but it looks interesting. And if there's something that could convince me to play multiplayer games, it would be a multiplayer only game that does well.
Yeah, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Microsoft Windows.
I thought they announced that wasn't going to be exclusive.
Well, it's going to be exclusive to Microsoft, just not to Xbox One.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Titanfall is built on the Source game engine and uses Microsoft's cloud computing for multiplayer servers, physics, and artificial intelligence. So far, it just looks like it's going to come for the Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Microsoft Windows. It's published by EA and developed by Respawn Entertainment, who've made nothing except that game.
Let's see, what else did we have? There was one other that was for the Xbox One, and I think I'm going to wrap it up because I've only got that's pretty much it for Xbox One, and we're at about the 50-minute mark now. So the last thing that I recall was Killer Instinct. Are you familiar with that fighting game?
I'm really bad with names. Killer Instinct. I can just Google it and see if I can remember. No.
Okay. It was on the SNES the first time I ever played it. It was a lot of fun, and it died an ignominious death, and nobody ever heard from its rotting carcass again until yesterday. But it is making a comeback, and they have announced there was some confusion about it because they announced that it was going to be free to play, and you would only have one character, and you would have to buy everything else. But then they clarified that it was actually going to be the full game was available for sale. The demo is going to be free to play. So you download the demo, you get your one character, you want to see what another character's like, so you shell out some money, and the price for those individual characters hasn't been set yet, but we could imagine it's probably going to be about $3 to $5, maybe more. And you basically then get to play the demo with a second character. And the only thing stopping you from doing all of that would be somebody breaking into your house and taking your credit card away from you. I think if they go with the concept that if you unlock everything via microtransactions through the demo, that it's brings out to the same price point as the full game, I think that would be okay and totally acceptable. Given the way that everybody's leaning this conference, I don't think that's likely.
This is a Rare game.
Yeah.
I like Rare.
Yeah, I did too. Like I said, I think if they do it right, they could win some hearts and minds, as it were, but I don't know as they're going to do what is right regardless, or at
Well,
least right by their consumers.
I'm really hoping that they do good for the game, but it's going to be Xbox One exclusive, so I'm going to play it.
Yeah, again, that's one of those things where it's like, that's almost worth it to me. Oh wait, no, it's not, because I have such a laundry list of negatives on it. If Halo can't convince me to do it, nothing can.
Except one thing.
If somebody handed it to me.
No. Let's continue.
Oh, that was pretty much it. That was the end of Microsoft's press release or press conference, at least that I saw. I might have gotten distracted by a customer again, but yeah, that was pretty much it. And thoughts on it? Oh, I talked about how cloud was the big thing, and even in the Halo 5 release, when they were talking about it afterwards, there was more, well, we're offsetting this to process in the cloud and blah blah blah, cloud and cloud and cloud, and I'm so sick of the damn word cloud, and I'm one that manages a cloud environment for my customers, so fuck the cloud.
I don't have problems with cloud. Steam has cloud. I have no problems with that. So they can bring me my old save files. I can just delete it off my hard drive and get it back later. I'm good with that.
It can be useful in limited situations, but in this particular case, it looks like they're trying to remember how the cloud was used for SimCity. Part of the reason why they wanted to take everything online and how they sold it to everybody was that they were going to offload the processing of your city onto their cloud environment to lighten resource load on your computer.
I don't need that.
You don't need that, but there's a lot of people out here that do. And honestly, if I wasn't an idiot, I could have bought into that. If somebody came to me and said, look, even with your shitty laptop, you can play this AAA brand new game as long as you meet these minimalistic requirements, because all of the processing, all of the graphics and everything like that are going to be handled externally on our private servers. And all you have to have is an internet connection to stream down those computations. And then, it's pre-rendered on us. You're just downloading the feed. I would totally go for something like that. Are you kidding me?
Rev quote of the day. If I wasn't an idiot. You said that.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? Damn it. That's when my mouth gets ahead of my mind. If I was an idiot, I could go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to post that on Twitter. That'll come from our official Twitter feed, which, by the way, we have TTL Podcast. And but yeah, going back to SimCity, they marketed it as it'll be cloud computed and it'll be good for you because your piece of shit computer is going to be able to handle it because it's all going to be handled by us. And then somebody broke it down and went to the packet level and looked at exactly what the fuck they were doing, and it had nothing to do with computation. It had nothing to do with processing. All it was heartbeat checks and authentication checks and anti-cheat checks. There was no processing of the game anywhere. So to me, I'm seeing the cloud, at least from an entertainment standpoint, being used as a new way to shove more and more intrusive DRM down our throats. And it pains me to see something that I love, something that is near and dear. I mean, I've been playing. How long has Halo been out? I've been playing Halo for almost half my adult life, and I love it. And to see it being used to try and get people not only to pay $500 US, or what is it, after after conversion and everything, it's like 750 euros, or dollars in euros. It hurts. It pains me and it aggravates me. And you got to draw the line, and I think I am more and more decided and certain that my line has been drawn.
For what?
Of the things that I'm not going to tolerate anymore. I'm not going to tolerate a gaming... some people are hashing on Sony because Sony did announce the fact that, unlike prior generations of the PSN network, there will be a less than $5 a month charge for multiplayer gaming. Now, keep in mind, that is multiplayer only. So if all you do is play single player and watch Netflix, you don't have to pay money. All the other online features are still going to be available just as they are now for free. But if you want to play multiplayer games, you will have to have it comes out to be about $55, $60 a year.
It's not a bad amount, but I don't like that.
I don't like that, but if they don't ruin their interface the way Xbox has, I'm already paying $65 to $70 a year for Xbox Live, plus another $10 a month for Netflix. So why wouldn't I? I mean, and I don't play any multiplayer games on my 360. The last time I played a multiplayer instance of this game, of any game, was when I was playing Spartan Ops with one of my sword brothers, when Halo 4 first came out. We played through the campaign, we played Spartan Ops, and 3 days later, I stopped. I haven't played a multiplayer game since.
Okay.
So the only reason I'm still paying for Xbox Live is because my Netflix is tied to it, and I hate Silverlight, so I'm not going to throw that on my computer.
I have Silverlight on my computer.
So I mean, as long
as
it's glitchy, it's a resource hog. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't have problems with that.
Mr. Infinite Resources. Tell you what, I'm gonna find a way to build a cloud environment, and I'm gonna run all of my graphical processing needs out of my business environment and just stream it to my connection here at the house. And hey, I'll have built my own version of the Xbox One.
Do it. You'll have a lot of not graphical, but you'll have a load of processing power.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to see if I can do that.
Why do you need so much processing power?
I can't think of a reason why I would, but why the hell not see if I could do it? If Microsoft can do it, I can do it, right?
Yeah, but it's going to take a bit longer.
Well, sure, obviously, but I mean, I have a cloud environment that I'm an admin for, and I can do whatever I want with it, and yeah. I'm going to see if I can do a Linux version of Microsoft's cloud. I mean, we've already got Cloud Stack, and okay, I've got a project that I'm going to be working on.
Okay.
All right.
Now you just need to figure out stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, anybody got any ideas? If you do, either tweet us at TTL Podcast, or you can email us at ttlpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you could just comment on the bloody video.
Or you can comment on the bloody video, but try not to get into a discussion with me, because then Quad's inbox fills up and he then gripes at me.
Yeah, I remember once. But it would fill up anyway, so there's no worry.
Yep.
I just need to, put up a rule for it so it gets tossed into a comments thing.
Oh, that's a good idea. See, you do all this, filtering and stuff. I just try and blow out my inbox as often as possible.
No, I have one for subscriptions and such, so I can, check in on it every once in a while. So it doesn't, clot up my bloody email, because I have a tendency of saving stuff that's kind of important. I do a lot of email management. So yeah, like receipts and everything go into their own folder and so on. It's very important.
That's a very good idea. I do almost no email management. If it's not in my inbox, it's been deleted.
I didn't do that at work though. I just didn't really care. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for our first ever bonus episode. It looks like, or at least my thoughts and plans, depending on timing, is that we'll do at least 2 more. One to cover EA and Ubisoft, and then one to cover Sony and Nintendo. Or depending on how much of those that we see. I missed all of Nintendo's press conference this morning. But yeah, Time to Live podcast, bonus episode number 1, E3 special edition. I'm Rev, signing out.
I'm not using that long of a title.
It doesn't have to be exact, but come on, that's a cool title.
I'll figure something out. Because
right.
I hate long titles, it's so annoying.
You don't like what is it? How I shit. Never mind. I can't even think of the movie name off the top of my head.
I'm thinking more of YouTube videos. I don't really care for I don't have a problem with other things because long titles are really annoying and people won't read them.
So bonus episode number 1, E3 Part 1.
I was thinking more of TTL Podcast E3 edition, number 1.
There we go.
See there? Or something like that. I'll figure it out whenever I, upload it, which will probably be tomorrow.
All right. And then you should be good for recording episode 2 tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, this is Time to Live signing out, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yep. See ya, guys. Later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.